Hi, guys. Welcome back to another GD Horror Movies podcast. I'm Jeannie.
And I'm Dale.
Welcome, guys.
Can you guess what movie we're talking about today? It's probably in the
Mm,
description, so it's probably
yeah,
not a secret.
probably not a secret, but here we are, guys. We're going to do the whole podcast like this
Invisible.
Invisible, because we're reviewing the Invisible Man.
2020 edition.
Yeah.
Poof. And we're here. Just like that. Editing magic.
I know. We should have counted together and went, sat down.
You were too quick for me.
I'm sorry. I was also a lot closer. Hi,
As
guys.
always, co-host.
Co-host.
One day I'll figure out, there goes the camera.
gotta,
Mr. Ulrich.
Yeah.
There we go.
should.
Always with us.
Can you see him? There we go.
Good enough, yeah.
Okay.
He's taller in real life.
He is. You know.
I've never actually met him in real life, but I'm assuming he's taller than 3 inches.
Well, we hope so. Okay, Dale. What's going on? What's
Not
been
much,
up with
Jeannie.
you?
What's going on with you? Watching some horror movies lately?
Yeah, watching some horror movies, getting in to the feel of things
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah, so if you don't, hopefully you've been along for our previous episodes, but if not, this is our third movie
movie review.
So hopefully you're liking that format. I think we're enjoying it. I think
We are.
we've, it's built-in content.
It really is.
You don't have to come up with crazy things to talk about. We're talking about a movie. Content's built in. So if you've watched the previous ones, this is the third one. We've done Sinners and Smile
Smile.
and Invisible Man. Now, Jeannie, would you say all three of those films were good movies?
I would say so.
Not necessarily not on the scale, just
Not on
good
the scale, just
movies.
good
Just
movies.
very good movies.
Right. These were really good movies.
Yeah, and Invisible Man, spoiler alert, I think that was a good movie too.
I thought so.
So, a little behind the scenes for you on this creative process.
Yes.
We've watched other movies that we have not talked about. Well, I have.
Well, yeah.
I think
mean,
I've watched more of them than you have.
yeah, but you've with the scale, yes.
Yeah, so
but
playing
I've
around
watched
with the
a
scale.
lot.
So when we started out with this great idea of the Spookometer movie reviews, we said, let's come up with a list of movies to watch. And we wanted them to be on the streaming services so that y'all could watch it, and it'd be easier for us
We
to
can
watch it.
it.
And so Jeannie came up with a wonderful list for us, and she was just going on Netflix and running down the list of horror movies. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to get started watching them, and I'll fill out my little Spookometer sheets. And one of those movies, Jeannie, I have watched. I watched early on.
Yep.
And despite the fact that you said it had to be on our list,
Yeah, you had to watch
you
it.
did not watch it.
I did not watch this one, guys. I did not. But I'm excited to see how
Yeah.
how you liked it.
So this film, it's on Netflix. It is entitled Girls with Balls.
It's a real movie, guys. I promise.
It's a
Look
real
it up.
movie. It's a feature-length film. I watched the whole thing. I wrote a review of it. So you're going to get a little bonus review because Jeannie's never going to watch this film.
Never gonna watch this film,
Because-
and probably because of your rating.
I wouldn't subject you to it.
You wouldn't make me waste my time.
I wouldn't suggest y'all watch it at home. I watched it so y'all don't have to.
There you go.
There you go.
That's so good.
That's another GD difference right
That's
there.
it. That's another GD.
So I mean, just real briefly, here's your little review. There's some animal violence in it.
Mm-hmm.
They run into a bird. A bird hits the RV windshield. This is basically all right. This movie, the clickbait on it is it's a co-ed girls volleyball team. So you think you think you know where this movie's
Yeah.
headed in that vein. You think it's going to be kind of raunchy.
Yeah.
It's if it's wrong, it's not good raunchy.
It's not a good one.
It's not a Porky's or any of those you would think of. Not a
Not a road trip because you said it's on a bus.
yeah. So it's like it's a wrong turn film.
Okay.
They're coming back from a volleyball match and they take a wrong turn and they run into racist hillbillies that they run afoul of, and next thing you know, people are running through the woods getting murdered. That's the film. There's a few twists along the ways. They're trying to lean in to the raunchiness.
Okay.
They're failing
Miserably?
miserably,
Okay.
miserably.
Okay.
So there is some a trigger warning for sexual content, but it's mostly just in the language, the lewdness, some jokes that don't land. There's a really weird scene that I'm not going to discuss on the podcast. It made me feel very uncomfortable.
Oh, no.
Not in a good way.
Oh,
And so
no.
we'll leave that out. Final score, I'll hold this up. I gave it a 27 on the spookometer.
27 out of
A
100?
27. Now the one good part, one redeeming quality, blood and guts. This had some very good practical effects.
I do love a practical
There's some
effect.
good practical effects. When people get murdered, they show it, and they whoever did practical effects on this film, you did great. You deserved better than everything else going on in this film. So
You
here's
gave
my-
a 0?
There's a 0 on there. Power of suggestion. What is left here? Nothing.
Nothing.
They showed everything.
Wow.
I mean, when I say they showed everything, not in the way that you would think of with a movie called The Girls with Bones, but in the context of murdering people, they showed everything.
Well, that is
That's the kind of uncomfortable things you have to talk about when you make me watch a movie called The Girls with Bones. There you go. You can.
Girls with Balls.
There you go. I don't know if you can read that or not.
Well, let me just say,
There's my notes.
Dale,
Well, bonus content for you.
thank you so much for your amazing review
Here-
of Girls.
Well, here's
with
the thing.
Balls.
I love B movies. I
Mm-hmm.
love C movies. I love bad movies. But this is not one of those movies that is bad in a good way. This is just a bad
Just a bad movie.
Just Netflix, man.
So glad it's a Netflix original too, isn't
I
it?
believe so. It
They
may have been a foreign film that Netflix has licensed. I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Anyway,
thank you for that.
thanks for sitting through that one. And now to a good movie, The Invisible Man.
Yes, The Invisible Man. So you want to do your elevator pitch? You want to go ahead and go through everything and
Sure.
then we'll talk about
I
it?
didn't do as much on the elevator pitch this time. I did more of a history lesson.
Okay.
But the elevator pitch on this is a fresh take on the classic Universal monster. This
The Invisible Man.
in the context of applying technology to the Invisible Man and then putting it into the story of the cycles of domestic violence.
Right.
And so, going back to the history of the Invisible Man, it's originally based on the 1897 H.G. Wells novel, The Invisible Man. Did you read it?
I did not.
I
I didn't read that one.
I haven't either.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I watched the movie. Why would I need to read the book?
I mean, right. Same thing, right?
The Invisible Man joined the Universal Studios horror pantheon in 1933 and was followed by 4 sequels in the 1940s, not all of which are really horror. This was the war era. Invisible Man becomes like a spy agent kind of thing. It goes into the war more than the horror element of it. And then there were 2 Abbott and Costello crossover films.
Oh,
You familiar with Abbott and Costello?
no. I don't know who that is. So what is that?
This is the part of the film that calls Dale mansplains things
Yes,
to
Dale
Jeannie. Yeah,
mansplains.
comment
Oh,
down below.
Hold your horses, guys. Come on.
Abbott and Costello are a comedy duo
Oh,
that
okay.
were very popular in the 1930s and 40s. And towards the end of the Universal Monsters career and at the end of Abbott and Costello's career, they crossed over.
Oh, okay.
And so it is the Universal Monsters in a comedy movie starring Abbott and Costello.
Oh,
The Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein, great movie, one of my favorites. Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man. It didn't do it for me.
okay.
It didn't do it for me. Anyway, the Invisible Man concept has been explored in a number of other films, most notably the 2000s Hollow Man starring Kevin Bacon.
I like that movie.
I know you're familiar with that one.
I like that
Yeah.
movie.
There you go. This film, the latest take on Invisible Man, is a Jason Blum production. The movie did very well at the box office. Brought in $144 million on a $7 million budget.
Wasn't this COVID era too?
This was. So it may have made more by week 4 of the release. Most of the in-person theaters were shut down.
Were shut down. I thought
So
that.
that was at the end of the release cycle, but still, there was money left on the table. So
Yeah.
it could have done a little bit better.
Right.
And who knows, pre-COVID, maybe people were still a little uncomfortable going to the theaters before the shutdown.
Before Showtime, yeah.
It was a wild time.
It really was.
Very positive reviews by critics and audiences. Did very well.
I really enjoyed it.
So what was your first reaction to the movie?
First reaction. First, let's get into the trigger warning of
okay,
it.
sure.
If
Be
you
my
don't
guest.
mind.
Go for it.
Trigger warning for domestic violence. It is very heavy on the domestic violence.
That's the story.
It's literally
Yeah.
the story. So if you are someone you know who've been through that, maybe necessarily don't enjoy movies like that, I would highly suggest you just not watch this one because it is very heavy. And it can be triggering.
Oh, definitely.
It could be very
Definitely.
triggering.
I think they tell the story of domestic violence very well. I think
Very
they do
well.
it very tastefully, but they don't shy away from it.
They don't. They don't. But it was very good. So if you haven't seen it, pause this video, go watch it, and then come back and finish the video because we're fixing to get
Okay.
into the
well,
deep
before
dive.
we do that, the animal triggers. There was a dog, Zeus the dog.
Zeus, did he
Zeus
get hurt?
is fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Zeus didn't get hurt. I
You
forgot.
kind of worry about Zeus a few times.
Yeah, especially when
When she leaves him.
When she leaves him and then comes back and-
Yeah, you're kind of worried because you worry about Zeus, but Zeus is fine. You don't have to worry about Zeus. He makes it just fine. Happy ending for Zeus. And then not really sexual content.
no sexual content. I mean, there again, she's
Yeah.
like in the shower at one point, but you don't see anything.
It's not girls with balls.
No, maybe not. But I don't know. I didn't see that one either. But I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you listened to me and you watched that one.
Okay.
And I will not be watching that
Wow.
one.
All right, so we're going to get into some spoilers now. That's the spoiler-free
Spoilers.
section.
Spoilers.
So, Elizabeth Moss starring in this movie.
She's great.
She is great.
She is great at this. Like, there's something about her. She can do a comedy. Everybody knows her also from Mad Men. She was
That's right.
in
Handmaid's
Handmaid's Tale.
Tale. I think that was her huge
That was her
breakout role.
huge breakout role.
Yeah.
Which she was, I mean, in...
I mean, she was a large part of Mad Men.
In
Mad
Mad
Men
Men.
was a big show.
Yeah, but
I
she
mean,
was just
she
one
was,
of them.
She was the star of Handmaid's
Of
Tale.
Handmaid's
She
Tale.
was, the face of that show.
Right. And she does a really great job in this film. Like, she really makes you
Yeah, I mean,
really worried.
I'll go on a limb and say, I mean, you needed somebody of Elizabeth Moss's acting talent to
did.
make this film work. If you do not have as talented of an actress in that role, the movie falls apart. There are scenes in this movie that would have been goofy but for Elizabeth Moss's acting.
Right. Because there's a lot, because she's really good at showing the sheer terror in her
Right.
face without making her look.
Well, and that had
Strange.
to have been challenging, and I know actors talk about like how challenging it is with like CGI when
Yeah.
you're like you're running in terror from a CGI monster, and it's
Yeah.
actually like just a tennis ball dangling on a string.
Right.
That's where you're supposed to look. This is kind of a similar idea where Elizabeth Moss is like terrified about something that's not
Something
visible.
you can't see.
Right. There's a corner of the room, and she's freaking out about it. Like,
Yeah.
Or she's fighting an invisible person. Like
But I thought they did a good job
they
with
did a
that.
great job.
It
with
was
that.
not
that
like
was great body
cheese.
acting.
Yeah, it was. It was really good. And like when he like lifts her up off
Yeah.
the ground, I was like, that's not.
It looked like she was making contact with somebody. Now
It
I don't
did.
know. Was that a person with a like?
I
a
think
green
it was.
sense? It had to.
I
have
think
been,
it
I
had
would
to because
think.
you could see like the
Sure. Yeah.
the motions and everything. Like you can't just
Yeah.
they didn't just lift her up and
Right.
she's just up there.
Yeah.
You know, like
So
there's got to be something that they were
Impressive
doing.
acting, impressive special effects. Like I said, I don't know. I didn't watch the behind the scenes. So I don't know
Yeah.
where the breakdown is of what was her acting and what was
What was-
special
yeah.
effects. But I didn't watch it thinking like, oh, well, this is just special effects.
Right. It was, I don't know, it was really, really good. And I think that was the brilliance of this movie was the fact that you didn't know, as the audience member, you did not know where he was.
Right.
So when she's in the kitchen and she's like chopping stuff and then the knife falls
Right.
and then the flame turns on.
Sure.
You don't know where he's at. Is he still in there? Did he follow her? Is he in the house? Like when she looks over, one point she's in the bedroom and she looks over at the chair and you kind of see an indent. I'm like, you're like, is he in
Right.
there? And that's what scared, especially with it being so heavily on the domestic violence, because we know that she's absolutely terrified in the beginning. They did such a good job building that up. So whenever you did get into this invisible man, you were terrified for her. Like, you're like, is he there?
Definitely.
So it was really, I really, really enjoyed it.
And I will shout out to this because you mentioned the beginning scene. I think this is an excellent opening
Excellent.
sequence. I've kind of gotten a little jaded with horror films that start off with, like, for example, if you're watching a shark movie, there's going to be somebody swimming in the water and they're going to get eaten in the beginning. And you know, it's like,
Okay, this is what
it's
this
kind of a
is.
scary scene, but you see it coming because you know they're like the sacrifice to get the ball
Right.
rolling. This is along the same lines. So we're starting the movie off with a bang. The movie starts off with Elizabeth Moss sneaking out of this man's house, Adrian. Yeah,
Adrian, yeah.
Adrian's house in the middle of the night, and you don't know the full story. You don't really know what's going on. You're trying to piece this together as
Right.
you're watching it. There's clues. You figure it out pretty quickly what's going on. That she's terrified of him waking up, and there's a lot of clues. It's a very intense scene of Adrian's asleep. We don't want to wake him up. Getting out of the house. I mean, it's a well done opening
It's so
sequence
well
because
done.
it sets the tension. To give it a pause.
Okay. There we go.
So yeah,
Sorry.
great opening scene. Now there were a few twists in the movie as
Yes. I was very surprised. I did not see that twist coming.
well. Right. So you're
I had
talking
no
about
idea.
the big twist.
The big twist.
So just I don't like to do these like play by play, reviews of the movie. Basically, Elizabeth Moss manages to escape Adrian's house. Adrian then allegedly kills himself, right?
Right.
He allegedly dies.
Right.
But then she starts getting haunted. It was basically like a haunting at that
Right.
point. And we suspect Adrian is not really dead and is continuing to mess with our main character, Cecilia.
Cecilia.
Yeah. And along the way, basically, Adrian just drives her completely crazy. Gaslights her,
gosh.
drives wedges between all of her friends and family. If you believe her, if you show mercy to her, you are now a target.
Yeah.
Some great scenes along the way. Eventually, Elizabeth Moss ends up in a mental facility, and she's being charged with murder of her sister.
Of her sister. That was a crazy
That
scene.
was a crazy scene. I'm sure it'll
I
come
saw
up
that.
in
I did
in
not
the
see that
metric.
coming.
Crazy scene. That'll come up again.
That'll come up again.
And then eventually, like she figures out how to battle Adrian, right? The invisible man. She comes up with some ways to counter it and make him visible. Sees like a storm coming in. Uses the rain.
Uses
to
the
see
rain.
him,
Gosh,
kind of
that
thing.
was such cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. And then there's a big climactic battle scene at the house. She saves her friend's daughter, who's, again, another victim, another person that's on this radar just for being close to the main
Right.
character. And come to find out it's not Adrian, it's Adrian's brother.
Literally.
Right.
I had no
Adrian's
idea.
brother, who was like a lawyer, who had set up the trust and the estate. And I mean, he'd been introduced earlier, and you kind of suspected along the way maybe he's involved in it.
Yeah. But not to that
But
extent.
not to that extent, not to wearing the suit.
wearing the suit,
Invisible man's
yeah.
suit, which we should mention, this isn't a suit with like camera lenses and
Yes, it's
screens
so
all over
cool.
it. The original Invisible Man was like a potion.
Yeah,
He drank
yeah.
like an invisible potion.
But I like how they
So, yeah, it's
took
a new
it.
take on it. It works.
I like how they took it into like the modern era,
Right.
I should say.
I mean, there's there's concepts of that out
Yeah.
there, right? And so our main character suspects it was not really the brother that was behind all of this. Adrian is found apparently locked up in his brother's house, right? That he claims he's been kidnapped the entire time. So that's a huge twist in the movie when she beats the Invisible Man and come to find out it's not Adrian. Adrian's still out there, which sets up our final act. Now, I mean, that was a big twist. Was there any point in the film to where you were like, maybe she's crazy? Maybe did you buy into the gaslighting at any point?
No.
Because there's one scene that I think some people could buy, and that's when she's meeting with the brother, the lawyer, and they're going over the trust, and they're talking about how that was Adrian's greatest gift is how he's able to manipulate people, and he's
Yeah.
manipulating you from beyond the grave,
Yeah.
basically. And you're like, well, is that what's going on? Is this some elaborate, beyond the grave hoax?
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I knew it was him from jump. So I know
Right.
the predictability, I didn't know it was going to be so much so that it was.
Right.
I knew that it had to been him.
Yeah.
Like, it had to been, because he just killed himself. And the way they spoke about him and everything, he just didn't seem like, he kind of was full of himself.
Yeah.
And obviously he wanted to hurt her. And then she was talking about, taking birth control to keep from having a kid because he wanted a kid. And she was like, I don't want to do all that. So the manipulation and stuff, but that's also because it's huge about domestic violence. So I was
Right.
like, it's definitely him.
Yeah.
Now, I did not see the brother. I knew the brother was involved. Maybe the brother spoke to him and maybe helped him,
Right.
something like
You
that.
didn't think there would have been two suits?
I
with
didn't
two
think it was going to be
people?
two suits.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, well, we honestly don't know how many suits are
We
out
don't.
there.
We don't. We know there's at least two.
We know there's at least two because she took
Because
one.
she shot the brother wearing the one, which
One
damaged
damaged
that suit,
it.
so it wasn't working and it was in evidence. And then there was the second one that she hid at Adrian's house in the closet.
No, there had to have been three then. Adrian had the one that she shot because I feel like that was Adrian. And the brother was the one who came to the house because he beat her to the house, which was weird because how did he do that? But anyways, so he's at the house with the guy and what was the guy's name? Oh gosh, I'm horrible
The
with names.
friend,
The friend's name, the cop.
Aldous.
What's that?
Aldous.
Yeah.
Aldous.
Aldous, yeah. So him and his daughter were there. And then Adrian's brother was there. So I'm thinking that's another suit. And then she had the suit hidden because that's what, at the end of the movie, she went and got.
So I'm with you on those two suits. What was the third suit, though? You have the suit that the brother was wearing.
The suit the brother was wearing, the suit
Suit that-
Adrian was wearing because it was damaged. And then her suit the suit that she hid. It had to been three.
Oh, so you're thinking. So was the brother not the person at the psychiatric
I didn't
ward?
think so.
Okay. So you're thinking that, and that suit was damaged.
That suit was
in the
damaged.
battle.
And I think Adrian went to his brother's house and put himself there because he was beaten and bruised. Where would he have gotten beaten and bruised? At the psychiatric ward.
That makes sense.
So then his
That makes
brother
sense.
is at the house.
And that explains how quickly.
That's how it explains
Yeah.
how quickly he got back.
Right. Okay. Makes
Because
sense.
while you're having this fight scene with the brother and the friends, he's at the house taping himself up and getting ready to be there.
Right, and setting his brother up to be the fall guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So that he
Okay.
can get her back. Because his brother's, he was the one who was in the suit, not me. I was locked up this whole time. Look at all my bruises.
Now there was one scene, and I've my first react. I mean, I've watched this years ago. I watched it in 2020. This was a pandemic film I
Pandemic
watched.
film.
Yeah, quarantine film. So of course I rewatched it yesterday for purposes of this film.
Right.
For this review. There was one scene jumped out at me this time. It didn't really jump out at me the first time. So after Adrian slaps Sydney, the friend's daughter,
Yo.
and it's a horrible scene, right? Horrible scene. Sydney obviously doesn't think an invisible person slapped her, blames our heroine, Cecilia. So the friend and Sydney, Aldous and Sydney have left, and they've left Cecilia alone. Cecilia now knows Adrian's
It's
here
Adrian,
with this
right.
invisibility suit, which there was clues of an invisibility suit because you see when she's escaping first
Yeah.
thing that there's this
Empty
empty
room.
kind of chamber with like stuff
Yeah.
with nothing's in there.
Right.
There's an invisible suit. So she must have known there was something with that.
Right. And he was an optic. Like he
Right.
was in optics and stuff.
So she knows there's an invisible man. So she takes these like coffee grounds, I think it was,
Yeah.
and just scatters them all over the floor, right? And then she's sitting there and she gets the idea to call Adrian's phone. So she calls Adrian's phone and she hears it ringing in the attic.
Right.
So she goes up in the attic, and that's a very tense scene. And then when she's coming out of the attic, she suspects Adrian's on the ladder. She like senses it. He's somewhere. She knows he's somewhere around there. She takes this paint, and chucks it out,
Yeah.
covers him with the paint so you can see him. There's paint's everywhere on the hallway. And then she chases Adrian down, and Adrian has somehow washed all the paint off of this thing.
I didn't understand that.
I don't
either.
understand that. I mean, this suit had crevices and cracks.
Yes,
and
it was
all
like little
kinds of stuff, all these little
octagons.
How you got all of
All
that
that
white paint, every bit to where this is completely invisible.
And anybody who's ever painted a room,
My
painted
goodness.
anything, would know. Because you do
Yeah.
your Halloween stuff, how much paint do you get everywhere? You'll just find it
Everywhere.
randomly.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I
I
didn't
just-
even come in this room. Why is there paint in here? Like, it's impossible to do a clean job.
So that to me, I'm like, there's no way. So then there's those big fight scene, and they're like breaking dishes and they're
Yeah.
breaking things. There's a hole in the drywall. Can you just imagine Aldous coming home?
Mad.
And just being like, that's the scene I wanted to see. I want
Yeah,
to see
but
this
like-
man coming home to his house that he's let Cecilia move into, and she is just demolished.
This thing. And at the point, he thinks she's just
She
crazy.
thinks she's just crazy.
Because he had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
I'd have loved to have seen that scene. Like,
Yeah,
what,
that would have been a
what
good.
the
That should have
hell
been like the
happened?
end credit
the
scene, like
credit scene.
just because he's probably mad, and then he
I
doesn't
would've
say
been mad.
anything when she's in the psychiatric ward.
Right.
He says nothing about it. Like, you destroyed
Right.
my home, homie.
Yeah, I mean, getting all that paint up off the floor in the hallway, that stuff would have dried by the
Did
time
you
he
see
got
how
home.
stressed I was about painting that wall, and you just threw paint all down my hallway? Rude.
I feel for Aldous. I feel for
Bless
him.
his heart. It's a real man right there.
Oh goodness! Well, anything else you want to discuss about the movie?
No, because we can get into the Spookometer 3000.
All right, the patent pending Spookometer 3000. If you're just joining us, this is your first time. I mean, you've already seen one because Girls with Balls, but 10 factors on the rubric. It's graded 1 to 10. I'm going to take my score, average it with Jeannie's score on each of the factors. We'll add them all together, and we'll hopefully find out how scary this
Scary.
movie is.
And this also, we need to preference that it's not a grade on how good the movie
Yes.
is. It's how scary
Right. If
the
you
movie
if you
is.
want to find out how good the movie is, go to Rotten
Rotten
Tomatoes,
Tomatoes.
read some
You're
critics'
welcome.
reviews.
Right,
There
we're-
you go. This is separate. We're just discussing how scary it is
scary
and
it
in
is.
what ways it's scary.
Right.
Because some movies can be scary in a particular metric and not so much in the other ones. And that will maybe inform what movies you want to watch if you've made it this far and haven't actually watched it.
Right.
All right, so the first factor is the Scream Queen factor. Were the characters meaningful? Were you invested in their story and what happened to them?
I gave her an 8.
You gave her an 8, which is an interesting way to put that
I
because
should, because she is.
this is the Cecilia show.
It literally, because it's a lot about her. I wish we had more, and this is why I gave it an 8. I wish we had just a little bit more insight on how crazy Adrian is. She
100%.
tells us a little bit
Yeah.
about him, and I would like to know the relationship too, a little bit more about her sister and her, because I'm sorry, me and my sister, we would be close. So I would think you would know that your sister's not crazy, that there is something happening.
Right.
So, and then the friend too. Who is this friend? How do we know this? And how is he just a cop? Like, how did you meet him? Like, so that was
He's
my
a hell
thing.
of a friend.
A great friend, because he lets he lets her stay in with his daughter.
Yeah.
She sleeps in the bed with her. And even when she's going, he still has her there. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And
I'd
that's
have-
a huge
I'd
risk.
have kicked her out a long time ago.
And it's a huge risk if she's told
That's right.
you that she is trying to run away from this
Right.
crazy man. Why are you putting her in with your child?
You got to protect your child first and foremost, and you don't see that until Adrian slaps Sydney.
When she thinks it's
and she
Cecilia.
thinks it's Cecilia. That's the first time
That's
that
the
he's
first
like,
time.
"Whoa, you're actually a danger to my
Right.
child. I got to look out for my child first."
But you would think that you would be like, hold on, no, that doesn't make sense. So
Right.
I would just like to know a little bit more. That's why I gave it an 8. Sorry, guys. I'm just saying.
I gave it a 10.
Oh,
I gave it a 10 solely because of Elizabeth Moss's great performance.
she does
in
a
the
great
film.
job.
And I did think Adrian was pretty cool.
Oh,
I
Adrian.
liked Adrian.
But wouldn't you like to
Or not
have
Adrian. I liked Aldous.
all this was
Aldous.
good, but wouldn't you like to have just a little bit more of
Oh
Adrian?
no, I think you make a great point. Like that would be interesting, and I guess it would have expanded the film out. It would have messed with pacing, but you almost want to. Do you want to see maybe how Adrian charmed Cecilia at the beginning
Right.
to see that evolution? And that's a different film, but the
Right.
evolution of he didn't start out as a son. I'm assuming he didn't start
Oh,
out as a
hope
controlling son
not.
of a bitch.
And she kind of touches on it, but it's not.
We hear it. They tell us. They don't show us.
They don't show us. And I would have liked, because that's the whole point, like, too, with the domestic violence, it doesn't always start out bad.
Right.
It's a manipulative thing. They get into your head. They love bomb you is what
Well,
the
and
term
she
is.
there's this one scene that I think was very effective where she's gone back to Adrian's house, she's trying to find the suit, and there's a different punch code on the security to get into the invisible room suit or the invisible costume suit. And she's trying to figure out what it is, and it's the date they first met.
They first met.
And she's like, oh,
How romantic.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
she's
And
like, how
That
romantic.
kind of shows you how Adrian was.
Exactly. So, and I just would have liked to seen a little bit more. I think it would have really rounded out that character development.
That's fair. Well, that averages out to a 9, which is still a very impressive score.
Still a good score.
All right, moving on to the next one, The Dark Stormy Night. This is our evaluation of the atmosphere. What's the setting like? Was it a spooky setting?
I gave it a 9 because I thought it was very scary. I guess it wasn't like.
It's not a traditional.
It's not a traditional,
right.
but it's like the reason I put a 9 because I was thinking, was I scared the entire time? Like just a room. A room shouldn't be scary, but when there's possible guy who's going to kill you, that room is now scary.
Okay.
The kitchen was scary because he could get the knife, he could turn the stove on, there was a fire. Her walking down the street, is he there? Like, you don't know. It's the element of surprise.
It's a lot like our discussion of this factor on Smile, where you take something that's a lovely home, but when you're not trusting what you're seeing, all of a sudden it's twisted where you're
right.
scared in your own home.
Right.
I didn't quite get that feeling of unease like I did with Smile for this one. I gave it pretty low. I gave it a 5.
A 5.
For me, Adrian has a beautiful home.
It's
I never
gorgeous.
felt uncomfortable in it.
Well, I guess I don't know. It's just
Aldous had a lovely home. Never felt uncomfortable. Even the attic. That was an immaculate attic.
you didn't think it was scary?
I'd go up in that attic in a heartbeat.
Oh my gosh! See.
That is so much less creepy than my attic.
Well, I guess, like I said, it was just the fact that, like, is he there?
Yeah.
So then, like you said, it changes the element of the room.
And even the scene where Cecilia's gone a little crazy, or they think Cecilia's gone crazy. They've got her in an insane asylum. And they've got her, and there's like deputies around. But because she's Aldous' friends, all the deputies are super nice to her.
Super nice, and they knew her very well.
Everybody knew her by name.
Everybody
was,
wait, Cecilia.
calm
and I'm
down,
like,
Cecilia. Like,
how do you know her?
so like that, even that scene was less atmospherically scary for me because it's like, well, she's surrounded by a bunch of people that really have her best interest at heart.
Well, yeah, I could see that.
So,
I could see that.
but that's fair. So a 9 and a 5, that turns out to a 7.5, correct?
Yep. Nice.
All right. Moving on to the next one, story development and engagement. Were you just on the edge of your seat following the story?
I was, but I gave it a 9.
Okay.
Like I said, I really wish there was just a little bit more development in as far as the relationships. Some of the pacing was kind of like, we're kind of been here for a while. Let's
Sure.
kind of like, there was one scene and it's like she's in the room and she's like, is he here? And I felt like that scene went on forever
Okay.
of just her looking into the abyss.
You didn't quite have the tension.
No, I
Right.
did, because I'm like
I think-
I had it in the beginning, and I'm like,
At that point, I don't think they had earned it because why would he be in the abyss?
Why-
Right. They
right.
hadn't set that stage yet.
Exactly.
Whereas if they'd have put that scene later in the film, after maybe
right.
some other things had happened.
So one thing that I just thought of is when she's running, when she's escaped, she jumps over the thing and she's running, right?
Yeah.
And she's looking back, okay, because she thinks he's going to come, and he eventually does.
Sure.
How he got his shoes on, jump that wall, and then go directly to her is weird. Like, did she go a straight line? She should have zigzagged or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you going straight on?
Right.
But anyways, but then also when she leaves the house and she's running and she's getting the Uber or whatever, how she had time to get the Uber? I don't know. I don't know whoever has used Uber before. It ain't that fast. I'm just saying.
Well,
I don't know how you're running and doing it at the same time.
You've never used it in California. I mean,
Well, this is true. We're from Georgia.
that lift was right around the corner.
Probably. And then she gets in the car. But also the funny thing to me is not just the Uber or Lyft or whatever she used. It's she's running and looking behind her.
Yeah, what do you expect to see?
He's invisible.
What do you expect to see?
What are we looking for? She's like running and she keeps looking back, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you're slowing down. Why are you looking behind you? What are you looking for? And I'm like, just run. You're not going to see him. So that threw me.
The
Sorry.
scene,
That
yeah,
just,
and just going off that, the scene where she gets into the Uber, and he's going the other way, so he just
Slowly backs
doing
up.
like the 10-point turn, trying to turn around at the speed,
right.
and he
He's
won't
like,
lock the door.
no, she's like, lock the door, lock the door, lock the door. And he's just like, okay. Like, I'm like, what are you,
Yeah.
go.
He's just trying to make small talk. That was triggering. That was
It
annoying.
was
very
annoying. I'm
annoying.
like,
It
go,
was-
sir. Can you please
Read-
go
read the
any
room.
direction?
Yeah.
Any direction.
Right.
And then she's looking out the window too. What are we looking for? What are you looking for? I could get if it was raining, she could
Sure.
possibly see
Right.
him, but it wasn't raining. It was nighttime.
At that time, he's completely invisible.
He's completely invisible. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? So that
That's
just
it.
tripped me out.
Yeah.
That was like, I was like, come on. Okay.
Well, for story development, I thought they did the cycle of domestic violence very well. There's a lot of gaslighting. I mean,
Lot.
it's a terrifying story that's very engaging because you feel for Cecilia
Right.
along the way. And this is very closely related to our Scream Queen factor because this is the Elizabeth Moss
It's
show.
literally the
I
list.
mean, she's carrying the film. She has, if she's not doing as good a job, if you're not connected to that character, this isn't the movie
It's
for you.
not the movie.
Right. If after the first 30 minutes you're not concerned about
Cecilia's
I mean,
well-being.
you might as well just stop watching.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to get any better for you. And then the action really ramps up in the second half.
It
I
really
mean,
does.
It's not an action movie until that scene in the hallway, which I did get a little bit of a chuckle. How it's like Cecilia set a trap for the Invisible Man, and she escaped the room, and then all these guards are coming up, and they're trying to stop Cecilia, and they're all looking, and it's like there'd be like 2 guards down, then the next 2 comes up, and the Invisible Man's taking them out, and they're coming
and
in
they're literally
waves.
coming in waves,
And
right?
it's like they're looking at him, and like Cecilia's just on the ground, on the floor, and they're like,
what happened here?
"Yeah, how did she take out 5 guys?" And
From all the way over there.
it's almost like video game logic. Here comes the
like,
next round
just
of
the
enemies
way-
coming in. If they just all came at the same time,
And no alarm was done. Like in real life, in these situations, there would be somebody out there. They would have an alarm. They would
Yeah.
have a code.
Right.
None of that happened. They just kept coming, and it was all in twos.
always
It was
in
all.
pairs.
It was. They were twos. Like here he goes.
Noah's
and
Ark.
there he goes.
Yep.
I was like
2 by 2.
2 by 2. That's what it was.
I gave it a 9. You gave it a 9. That's a pair of 9s.
Whoop whoop.
Makes the math easy.
Love it.
All right, moving on to the jump scares. You know what jump scares are? It's when
Yeah.
things pop out and say boo.
Yeah.
This movie had a few of them.
I like the jump scares in this
Okay.
one because they weren't super cheesy.
They were not. They
So
not
they were
cheesy
very
jump
well
scares.
done. You did not see them coming, obviously, because he is a invisible man. I jumped a couple of times.
Okay.
I gave it an 8.5.
Gave it an 8.5. I went a little lower. I gave it a 6.
Okay.
That's,
That's understandable.
this isn't a jump scare heavy film.
It's not.
But the ones on there are
Very,
decent.
yeah.
What was your favorite?
So I don't know if you consider this a jump scare or just maybe just a, oh my God, what just happened? The sister. It was like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, I had to rewind it to see.
You blinked and you missed it.
I did. It was because it was like all of a sudden. I mean, it was so fast.
Describe the scene to the audience.
Okay, so go to a restaurant. Her sister's mad at her because apparently she sent this email, but she did not. Talking about she wished she died. All
Part
that
of the gaslighting, driving a wedge. Yeah.
Yes. So they're at this restaurant, and it's a very loud, noisy restaurant. I'm like,
Right.
why y'all pick this? I have no
Well, at
idea.
this point, she knew he was after her, and she
Right.
wanted to meet at a very
in a public place
Yeah.
because she thought nothing would happen.
Yeah.
Wrong. So they're sitting there at the table. Her sister's sitting across from her. She's
right.
talking to her, and she's like, "Please believe me." All this stuff. All of a sudden, you see a knife behind Cecilia, and it goes straight across her sister's neck. And then her hand opens and closes. The knife is in her hand.
Yep. And everybody turns around, sees her
Holding
holding a bloody knife.
a bloody knife. Sister dead.
And it happens.
Blood.
It happens so fast. I would say that's a jump scare because they're having a conversation. You think like, all right, she's mending this bridge with her sister. Her sister, she's talking about how her sister's her safe place almost.
Yes.
She's she's a strong woman.
Right.
She's got this aura about her. Maybe this is her way to get to safety, and then
Right.
nope, it's taken away from her.
Because her sister saved her in the first part of it.
Right.
So I was kind of hoping sister's going to save again. I didn't see that coming.
Right.
I didn't see him actually doing that in public. And because I was looking back at it, I was like, there's no way that works. But how he did it worked perfectly.
It was so fast. Yeah,
It was so fast. And she was literally holding the knife like this when the lady, the table
first
next to
person
her,
that noticed. Yeah.
started screaming.
Right.
And so there's your eyewitness. But nobody, it was so fast you wouldn't have known that it was anybody else. And
Right.
then logically, how would that have happened? If you didn't know that this was an invisible man and you just saw her holding a knife and sister's dead, you would
Yeah.
think she slit her throat.
Right. I mean, that goes, in the legal field, famous closing argument on circumstantial evidence is,
Is what?
well, you go outside and the cement's wet, lawn's wet, car's wet, everything's wet. Circumstantially, you can say it must have rained last night. So you look, you see someone holding a bloody knife over a body that wasn't a bloody, wasn't a dead body 5 seconds ago.
Right.
Circumstantially, you didn't see her stab her, you didn't see her slice her throat.
All
You draw
clues-
that conclusion.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was a jump scare for me. I think it's also just the suspense of the scenes.
And that's how I would clarify what this movie is. It's a suspenseful movie. There's a lot of tension
Right.
in the movie.
very tense the whole
Yeah.
time.
My favorite jump scare was the attic ladder.
Yeah, that was a good
that
one.
was my favorite because we've discussed it before. But she's in the attic, and attics are usually pretty creepy. I think they have a lovely attic. I'd live up there.
Very clean.
Very clean. It's
Not
like
dusty.
it's like they dusted up there. Like what,
right.
what the hell?
It was an older house. Weird.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Side note.
So anyway, and then as she's coming out, like you're expecting maybe she's going to get attacked in the attic. But she
Right.
doesn't. But then she gets suspicious right at the entrance, the little, I don't know what you call it, where the attic.
The attic
the
hole
door
was
with
what
the-
I would
yeah,
call
the
it.
door.
The attic hole.
Yeah, with
I don't know what you
when
call
you
it.
climb into the attic. I have
Yeah.
a door in my attic.
Attic
It's not even
access?
yeah, attic access.
Yeah.
The
Access
hatch.
panel.
The hatch.
Yeah, there you go.
I have a door on mine. It's taller ceilings.
Yeah, I have a
I
door
have
on
like a
mine, too.
creepy little gnome door that leads into the attic.
Cool.
So anyway, and so she jumps the paint, and there's nothing there, and then bam, something's there.
And that's the first time we see him.
the
Like
first time we
actually
see it.
see
That's
him. So that's what that is a good jump scare. That one's good.
But yeah, I gave it a 6. It didn't really do it for me on the jump scares.
I made it hard for you. I got it 8.5. If you want to give if you just want to give it an 8, it's fine.
No, this is scientifically calculated.
I knew you were gonna hate me
My
for
phone's
that.
dead.
You want to use mine?
Yeah. What does that work out to be?
There you go.
7.75?
There you go.
Is it
I don't know.
7.75?
I'm gonna let you do.
I'm doing math
You're
in
the
front of a
math.
camera. That's not good to do math in front of a camera.
Why is it not good to do math in front of a camera? You're doing a great job.
7.25.
Okay.
25.
2.5.
That's close.
7 1/4. Sounds great to me. Sorry, I won't do that again.
I
Don't wanna
didn't.
make
I mean,
them
we
mad.
didn't. We didn't say you couldn't.
I mean, you didn't.
We didn't say
I
you
mean, you
couldn't do
said
it.
this was my list and my rating. I gave it 8.5. Okay,
Alright.
what's next?
Power of suggestion. What is
Yes.
left to your imagination? Sometimes what you don't see is scarier than what you do see.
Right.
And interesting. This is a movie about an invisible person.
I mean, yeah. I give it a 9.
Gave it a 9. I went the other direction. I gave it a 4.
Why did you give it a 4?
It's hard to explain with an
Okay.
invisible man because you would think by definition that's something you don't see. But at the same time, it's like you always did see him. It's like you saw the effects of him.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's
But it's not like in my mind I was like, this is a horrible eldritch monster thing.
yeah.
Well, it's a guy. It's an invisible guy.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. I
Well, so justify your 9. What was left to your imagination? What was your power of suggestion? What was your mind filling in that scared you?
just the sheer terror of what he could do. Like he's invisible. He could literally do anything. And that's scary.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did I explain that well enough? I'm sorry, guys. if I
Leave a
didn't
comment
explain it.
down below.
Yep, let me know if I didn't do that one right.
All right, so you gave it a 9. I gave it a 4 because I don't know. Like I said, it's an invisible man, but a lot of that is shown. It's
Yeah.
like, she's fighting him.
Yeah.
You can tell that there's somebody there. We know it's just a man.
But he was a scary man.
He was, but I'm just,
Okay, don't look at my 9 then. Just give it what you want.
it's not how this works.
No.
Your opinion is
No.
just as valid as mine.
I know. It's good.
All
It's
right,
fine.
9 and a 4. All right, okay, let's
Do you want
out
my
to
Do you want my
be 9 and a
calculator?
4.
Okay, you want my
right,
calculator
let's make
again?
sure.
Just get my calculator again.
Okay. 6.5.
Woohoo!
I'm gonna meet it at the end with all of these decimals.
I know,
We're gonna be-
sorry.
we're gonna be
My
carrying and okay. The rubber monster, the costuming. What did you think of the costuming? This also includes special effects.
I give it a 7.
Gave it a 7. Okay, I gave it a 5.
Explain your 5.
There wasn't really a costume. He was invisible.
Yeah, but you did. But you said the special effects, though.
Yeah, it was an invisible person.
But we were talking about in the beginning her fighting him. This is why I justify it as a 7.
Yeah.
Because the fighting it wasn't cheesy. It wasn't like, okay, she's fighting him and like a fake kind of thing when
Right.
they're fighting. Like you could actually it's almost like you could see him.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I gave Elizabeth Moss an Oscar for her performance.
I mean, she was great.
Wasn't factoring in that they just digitally took out the guy she was
Usually
fighting.
took out the guy. But I thought it was good. And then I really liked the suit optics, like the little cameras, how it like explained it and it showed how it worked.
Right.
I liked that. I thought that was a really good costume.
Now, maybe this is part of what's going on. I love the original Universal Studios Monster Pantheon.
Yeah.
And the Invisible Man is not my favorite Universal monster,
Well-
but he is still one of the OGs. He's part
He
of
is.
the Pantheon. He's up there. And I love that iconic look of the Invisible Man wearing a smoker's jacket.
And the,
With the bandages, with
which
the
they did
glasses
show
and
that
the
in the
hat.
beginning. He wasn't in a smoker's jacket, but there was a gentleman who was wrapped up and stuff, and I was like, oh, that was a
yeah.
nod to the original.
I didn't even put that together. but
Yeah,
this little
you did.
cameo
Yeah,
there.
I was just like, oh, look, it's a little cameo.
I didn't even clock that. But yeah,
Yeah.
so for me, the tech adaptation, it worked. It was fine.
liked it.
But it didn't really, it wasn't scary to me. It was just tech.
Yeah,
So for that reason, I gave it a 5.25.
5.2.
No, I'm just kidding. I gave it a 5.
5.25. You do the math on that one, sir. I want to see you do the math on that
All right,
one.
I gave it a 5. What'd you give it? A 7?
I gave it a 7.
All right, well, that makes it a 6.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the soundtrack. And this includes just the music. It includes any kind of musical stingers that accompany the jump scares. Anything auditory.
I gave it a 7.
Gave it a 7. I gave it a 5.
Oh. We're not too
It's
far
not, yeah,
off.
it's not like, it's not far off.
Yeah.
For me, it was It was fine.
Yeah.
It was good, but there wasn't anything like standing out about it.
No.
It was a horror movie soundtrack. So I was like, 5 is perfectly average. So
That's
I put it
probably
average.
good, yeah. But I mean, I liked it because it wasn't like annoying. You know, like
Yes.
some horror movies can have
That's
that
true.
annoying. Oh, something's gonna happen. Let's do
Right.
these ominous tones the whole
At
time.
no point did it ever take away from the enjoyment.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Exactly. So I gave it a 7.
Yeah, not really too much to say. It's, if I heard any of these sounds in the wild, I would not be taken back to this film.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I wouldn't just be like, oh,
Oh,
that's from the Invisible Man 2020. But
Right.
it's perfectly fine.
Yep.
There were several times where like maybe I was checking my phone and the music alerted me
That
that
something was
I
gonna
needed to
happen.
look up. So I mean, yeah,
Right.
that. That's fair. All right, Blood and Guts. How gory and or visually disturbing was this film? This is kind of a tricky one.
It was kind of tricky because you have some like, but really not as much as like you would typically have in a horror film.
Right.
I gave it a 6 because the only thing that like really came back to me was the sister and him.
Exactly. I gave it a 6 as well for those same reasons.
Oh, perfect.
You
We're
had
on
two pretty gory scenes that were fairly graphic,
So graphic.
but it also wasn't overly done, and that was kind of it.
Right. You didn't get like the Tim Burton squirting blood out of their neck kind
No,
of thing.
You didn't get Johnny Depp dragged into
Yeah,
a bed,
yeah. Like you didn't get all of that.
fountains of blood. No.
But it was, it was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't like something that I'm like, oh.
Right. It wasn't off-putting.
Right.
It wasn't.
It worked very well.
If this is your first horror movie, I could see where that would be a standout. That would be pretty intense for you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But if you've seen other horror movies, you're not going to bat an eye with it.
Right.
Really, you're going to be
Really.
like, oh, ooh, didn't see that coming.
Right.
The jump scare will get you more than the actual. gore will.
Even with his death
Right.
photo, wasn't really.
Yeah.
I've seen worse,
Sure.
so it wasn't really scary for that one either. So
Fair enough. Well, we're on the same page with the 6. All right, predictability. It can't scare you if you see it coming a mile away. Did this movie have any twists and turns that got you that added to the scare?
I gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8. Would
See,
you
we're
look at
back on
that?
track.
Yeah.
We're back on track. Why did you give it an 8?
Well, for me, there was several things I didn't see coming. We talked about the brother.
We talked
but
about the
that was a
brother.
big twist. I could see where you could watch that and potentially be like, well, I didn't see that brother twist coming. That must be the end of the movie. And then, wow, he's still alive. So, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And then the final scene where she kind of, I guess, big spoiler, but we're past the spoiler warning, where she puts on the invisible suit
And goes to him.
and then
Did you
enacts
see that
revenge.
coming?
Did I see that coming? I'm trying to think back to if I saw it coming the first time I
Oh,
watched
right, because
it.
you've watched this the
'Cause
second time.
Yeah, this is the third time I've watched
Oh, okay.
this. I don't know that I saw it coming, and well, we've talked about it before. I don't.
Right. Yo, you turn your brain off.
I turned my brain off, and I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah, you're just doing it. I watch and I pay attention and I try to guess what's coming next.
There were definitely clues for that.
But I didn't see her actually putting the suit on and actually murdering him.
Sure.
I thought she was going to go in there and get it because her friend is waiting in the car down the road.
Right.
So I would assume she would have taken that and said, here's his suit. This is how
Right.
he's doing it. I'm not crazy. I didn't see that. And then I was
Right.
wondering, and even like the clues now, like thinking back, I'm like, duh, you probably should have known that because they show the camera.
They show the camera
The security
angle.
footage.
So in the final scene, Adrian's still alive. Adrian wants to bring Cecilia back into his life. Cecilia wants to set Adrian up to prove that he was part of
He
this.
was part of it.
It wasn't the brother, because by now the brother's taking the fall for everything. The brother's
Right.
dead, so you can't even get him to tell his side of the story. So Cecilia goes to Adrian's house. Adrian set up this banquet of takeout, basically.
because she's pregnant.
'Cause she's
We forgot to
pregnant.
say that.
Yeah.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant
with his child.
with his child because he had messed with the birth
Messed with her
control.
birth,
Right.
birth control. Right.
So she's using that to be like, if you want to be a part of this baby's life, you need to tell me that
Tell
you
me
did
the
it. And she's
truth.
wearing a wire, and her friend, the cop,
Mm-hmm.
is out in the car listening. They're hoping to get a confession. but they keep showing the camera angle,
Right.
the home security camera that's showing, Adrian
On
sitting
his
at the
side,
end of
right.
the table, right? And then, Cecilia has this breakdown and she excuses herself and she leaves the room. And then all of a sudden the knife picks up and he slashes his throat. And then she comes back in, acts like, oh no.
Oh no, what
I
happened?
can't
He
believe
killed
killed
himself.
Calls 911 and then backs up out of the camera.
Out of the camera view.
So I mean, yeah, you had the camera view as a hint. You had the fact that we knew she had hidden.
Yeah, and she went to the bathroom.
Yeah,
that bathroom. Because we
right.
got this is a big, beautiful house.
Right.
There's plenty of bathrooms.
There's a guest bathroom.
There's got to be a
there.
guest bathroom
Yeah.
somewhere that she had to go
So,
use there.
I could see where some people would have probably clocked
guessed
that.
it.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I didn't
I'm pretty
see it.
sure I didn't because me.
Yeah, you turned your brain off. But I was just
Yeah.
I was thinking she was going to take him into custody. That's why the cop
Right.
was out there. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
why else would he be there? But, it is what it is.
Well,
but, I thought it was good.
Aldous was pretty shocked when
He
all
was
that happened.
very shocked.
He did not see it coming.
He did not. No.
So I gave it an 8. You gave it an 8. That makes it an 8.
Mm-hmm.
All right, going into the final factor, the nightmare haunt factor, a la thinking of Psycho when showering. I think we're pretty far apart.
We are very far apart here, sir. We can tell the
Wow.
difference between me and Dale. I gave it a 9.
I gave it a 3.
But also, you are a man.
Yeah, let's
You are a man, and
just because I can't see it doesn't.
you would probably, because you turn your brain off, you'd be like, la 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 la, just walking down the road. I'm just like, what is that? What is that?
Yeah, I'd be like, oh well, I didn't think I left this here.
Yeah,
You'd have to be pretty obvious to get my attention.
literally so obvious. But I gave it a 9 because it is scary
Right.
to me.
And so let's unpack it a little bit since we're so far apart. If
Right.
we were right there together.
Yeah.
But since we're so far apart, I'm married, been married for many years.
Mm-hmm.
You're married, you're in a happy relationship, but you have a daughter.
I do.
So how much of that is you're worried about your daughter or your son going out into the world? Because I could see if you were out in the dating scene, this would be a little bit more because you're dealing with
Yeah,
domestic
because you're dealing with
violence,
domestic
right?
violence, right?
But if you're, I'm not. I don't.
Right.
If Kim was going to abuse me, she'd have done it by now. You know?
Right,
I've
right.
given her plenty of reasons.
Exactly. But yeah, it is that you always worry. People have passed.
Yeah.
And have dealt with other things. I have seen things.
Sure.
I have been through things.
Well, we both work in the court system,
Yes.
so I mean, we see this.
We see
We
this.
see the real life version of this
almost every day.
at least weekly.
Yeah. So we see it a lot. So that to me is scary because you don't know because just because you met somebody, you don't know their past. You
Right.
don't know what they've been through. You
What
don't
are
know
they-
what type of person they
Right.
are.
What are they hiding?
Right. And that's
Yeah.
another thing, like with being in a relationship with somebody who is abusive, they will love bomb you and, oh, I love you, don't want you to go
Right,
nowhere. And then they will they will literally mess with your mind to where you think you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so that's scary because but there again, I've always been, things that are real life scare me more than anything.
Right.
Like aliens I know aliens are probably real, but they're not
They are.
here right now.
Or maybe
Ghosts.
they are. They're out there. The truth is out
What are
there.
you saying? The truth is out there. But like ghosts scare me because I feel like that's
Yeah.
a real thing.
Sure.
Things like okay, because the Predator movie is coming out. Have you seen the previews for Predator? That's kind of horror, is it not?
Oh, the Predator.
The Predator,
Badlands.
yeah, something like that. So that stuff doesn't scare me.
Yeah, I'd say Predator is in the horror genre.
Yeah,
horror
but
sci-fi.
but it's not something that scares me because it's not something that's real life to me. Like it doesn't scare me. So witches don't scare me. Goblins don't scare me. Zombies don't scare me. Like it's the real thing, like
Sure.
hauntings, exorcisms,
Yeah.
stuff like that scare me because I know that these things are real.
Right.
Because I've experienced stuff, not exorcisms. Not. But because we also work in a very, very old building. If you guys have listened to our other podcast, we work in a very, very old building that is very, very haunted. We've heard several things, so that kind of stuff scares me. So,
Yeah, and that's, and all of that is valid. Jeannie's score is perfectly valid because this is a subjective
It is
part of the
subjective.
rubric. For me, it did not haunt me because it presents as like a haunted house film.
right?
Really, 'cause, I mean, it's something you can't see is moving objects.
Yeah,
Is messing with you. Nobody believes you. I mean, that's
Right.
that's like any of the possession films,
Yeah.
any of the haunting films. In that regard, then it goes very wildly different. But kind of some of the scares present in that same way. But I'm not worried about somebody in a $1 billion suit coming after me. You know what I mean?
yeah, but also
And the domestic violence part, we talked about that.
Yeah.
That didn't hit me.
you're also a guy and a Spartan.
And I'm
Delta
a guy.
Spartan races. I got you. So, but it's scary because
this is
it
not
is different.
Yeah, like I didn't have nightmares from this film.
Right.
So if that didn't bother me that way. This is not a film that if I'm home alone, I'm like, oh no, I heard something. I'm not going to think of the Invisible Man film. I might think of some other films.
Right. Well, also, my dogs were laying in the bed with me while I was watching this because my husband was gone this weekend. So the dogs were laying in the bed with me, and Aria did the same thing she did in the Smile movie and just stood up and started barking again. I'm like, I'm going to stop watching. You're supposed to protect me. So I'm going to start not watching these movies with her because she will get up and just start barking out of nowhere. And then it made it scarier because it's an invisible man. Like, what do
Yeah.
you see? What do you see? What do you mean? So I gave it enough. That was
Okay,
fine.
that's fair. That's valid, and that's and we average it together and gave it a 6.
Yep.
And so I'm going to add these up, and we might do something a little bit different on this one. So I'm going to add up our composite. That's going to be the
Okay.
official score. But I think since we were kind of far apart, you tend to be higher on this movie scare
Yeah.
factors. I tend to be lower. We might add up our individual scores and just kind of see where
And
they
see
were
where.
at,
Okay.
just for fun.
Just for fun.
This will be the official score.
Yeah.
So while I'm doing that, any kind of closing thoughts or anything on the film?
I just overall it was a great film. I would watch it again. You know, things that we've already said. Miss Moss was very, very good in this. She really knows how to bring her facial expressions out to where she looks terrified and you're worried about her. It was very well done. I really liked it. I hated the fact that we didn't get to see this earlier because of COVID. I think it kind of washed out.
That's fair. You were I mean, it's easy to miss those movies that came out right in that era.
Right.
Let me add these up again because your phone numbers are a little bit different than my numbers.
So sorry.
I keep misclicking. But yeah, this is a Universal film. And it was kind of in the same era, around the same conversation as when they were trying to reboot their Dark Universe.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, when they were trying, because were they in talks of doing the Dark Universe? Is that why they started maybe throwing some ideas out there?
Yeah, when did the Tom Cruise Mummy movie come out? I know the Dark Universe was still alive or undead at the time.
You're so punny.
Yeah, at the time this movie came out. Like, that was part of the
Yeah.
conversation was
Yeah.
like maybe like the Mummy movie came out before this one. And so this one was like, well, this is the path forward.
Yeah.
Because Blumhouse has done another Universal monster movie.
Have they?
Yes.
What movie?
Wolfman, that just came out.
Ooh.
Yeah. I have not seen it. It's on Peacock.
Ooh,
Might be one of our next ones.
Maybe we should watch. Maybe we should do a Universal section.
I love Universal.
Comment down below if you'd like to see that.
So yeah, I mean, maybe then we'll have more of an idea if
Yeah,
Blumhouse was the right take
Right.
on Universal monsters. I love the monsters. I'll always love.
I want an
those movies.
Igor movie, but with
Okay.
the Igor from the parks because I love watching that from TikTok. He is so funny. I love him.
I would like to see a film based off of, this is a deep cut. There's a Frankenstein comic series that just came out from Skybound Publishing. And it's kind of Frankenstein story told from the eyes of just like a bystander child whose father died and was one of the pieces that went into
Oh.
Frankenstein.
That would be interesting.
That was a very interesting story. I'd like to see maybe that adapted one day. 'Cause we have a Frankenstein adaptation coming out this year.
Oh, do we?
Guillermo del Toro, I believe, is doing it. Yeah.
Oh, I would be interested to see that.
Sure.
I would be interested to
Yeah.
see that because, I like the story of Frankenstein.
It's a classic.
Yeah, there's different takes on it, and you
It
could
is.
go
It's
different ways.
Public domain, as long as you don't put them in green skin with metal bolts
Yeah.
coming out, Universal won't come after you.
Hot take, I like the one with Daniel Radcliffe in it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what is the name
Victor
of that?
Frankenstein?
Victor Frankenstein. I liked that one
I-
because it
I
played
like Harry
funny.
Potter too.
I mean, yeah, me too. What do we get it?
Our composite score came in at 71.25.
Okay,
So that to you might feel a little low.
a little low.
That to me might feel a little high. I guess I'll add up the
Oh, sorry.
screensaver. Hold on, I don't know the password. Add up these individual scores. So 71.25, that puts us below Smile and slightly, ever so slightly,
Slightly.
ahead of Sinners.
Sinners was a 69, I believe.
Yes, believe that's right.
Spoiler alert if you haven't watched those. You should go watch them.
Shame on you for not watching.
Yeah,
them.
they were very good. Ignore my text messages.
I gave it about a 61.
A 61.
Is my total. Jeannie can add up her own scores. Yeah, to me, it's a good film. It's got a few scares, but it's not a very scary. To me, this would almost be an introduction to horror film for the right person, right audience.
I gave it an 80.5.
My goodness, that's up there with Smile.
That's really up there. And
That's up there with a movie that actually gave me nightmares.
yeah. But I see, like, that's the beauty of this, though, is your take of scary and my
Yes.
take on scary is different.
Horror. So this is not good for the concept of the spookometer, but horror can be subjective.
It really can be.
Despite the fact that I will always tell you this is the perfect measure of a horror film.
It's a perfect measure of
And
R.
that's why we average them together.
Right. So
Yeah.
that way it.
71.25 you'll find is the precise measurement of this film scares.
I thought it was great. And it did a good job. And I
Okay.
was scared.
Well,
So-
it did its job.
Yeah, so we'll see what else we do
Yeah,
next
up,
week.
got a few exciting films.
Super excited. We've already have our list going.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do some things. We have some really cool
Yeah.
stuff coming up.
Gonna do some great things where Jeannie tells me to watch movies and then never watches them herself.
I can't believe you really watched it because I was not going to watch
I
it.
took the list seriously. I
I was
watched
like, you
every-
should watch that. And he watched it. I was like, I'm not watching that.
I feel like
It's like I'm not watching that.
I feel like I've been punked.
You were
was
pumped because I was like, you should watch that, Dale, and he did. So
And I did.
You know,
And-
you do it for the pod.
And
You gotta do it
I
for
will
the
never
pod.
get back that 90 minutes.
I can't believe you watched the whole movie.
I watched the whole movie.
I would have probably watched the first 30 minutes. I'm really bad about that.
Well,
I will stop a movie. If it does not catch
Hey.
my interest in the first 30, 45 minutes, I will turn it
I
off.
am dedicated to this
I'm
podcast.
so glad you are. I'm glad. If you guys know of any other really ridiculous movies you want Dale to watch, please feel free to comment down below
I'll watch
those
'em all.
suggestions. He will watch every single one of them and he'll put them through our patent pending spookometer. And it'll
3,000.
3,000. And he will do that just for you guys.
Just for you, every one of them.
Every single
comment.
every single comment. and
Every
it'll be
one of 'em.
great. It'll be great.
I've got nothing but time.
No, literally. Alrighty, well, I think that is it for today.
All right, that's a wrap. Thanks for
Yeah,
watching.
thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.